Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Hey, who's starting the Mishnah. So the Mishnah. Kotche oivdei kechavim. If you have korbanos of a goy, ein chavim alei mishum pigul noiser v'tameh. The isurim of pigul noiser and tameh is only by kotche that belong to Am Yisrael, not the ones that belong to a goy. What? What do you mean? Korbanos?
Yeah, but it's not from a Jew. So
doesn't matter.
It still doesn't make a difference.
No, it's a good point. You pointed it out. It's very important to know. Can a goy give a korban to Beis Hamikdash?
Yes.
Yes. Is it a full korban? Yes. It is a full korban. So the korban that the goy is bringing is considered to be a full korban. So I would think it has all the halachas of a korban. Pigul noiser tameh. A special, if they have special exhaustive korban, otherwise.
Is the korban of the goy eating all, or it's an oil?
Oh, so there's a machlokes regarding that, and the one shita is that every korban of a goy is going to be an oil. Even if he says shlom, it will be an oil. He doesn't know how to do like that's the big Muslim idea. He doesn't know how to combine shlomim himself. We eating it, and Kishboka eats it. How can you combine both together? That's not in his relevant understanding. But there is oil to be an oil. The nice the Shomach showing the daf of the Sadat tonight from yesterday's daf is that it says over there that the way you learn oila regarding pikul, because it says the word zevach. So there is a discussion if the word zevach means shlamim or also oila. So we arrive from this Gemara that zevach means oila. One of the raya of the problem is the Prigader Blazer brings that by Yoino, when the other people on the ship saw that Yoino jumped and it stopped, they were so impressed, so they brought korbanos to Kosh Baruch Hu. So says the Medrash, how can a goy bring a korban? I can bring. They can't bring Zevachim. That's what it says. And Lamad, that means they did bris milah themselves. That's what the Medrash says. So what do you mean they can't bring Zevachim? They could bring Zevachim. They could bring korbanos. So someone will say Zevach doesn't mean oil. It means a shlamim. They can't bring a shlamim. But the problem is the Gemara before says Zevach is an oil. But that's just one indication. It has to do with this Mishnah as well. When I say goy brings a korban, it's a regular korban. At least a oil. So she have pigul noiser tameh. Chiddush is special exhaust because of night. V'ashech to mechutz pato. Do shchita outside pato. Divrei Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yossi mechayev. Rabbi Yossi says yechayev, and we'll see the reason. Or Rabbi Yossi what he's talking about in the later.
He's going on all of them.
So that's part of the discussion over here. Pashtus is yechayev only in the last one. On the one on mechutz.
You agree that there's no.
That's I remember correctly. Right. The machlokes is only guy showed the mechutz patur. That's what Tosfos brings over here. Another way to understand it, because he says.
There's some opinions pertaining to all of them.
Who says it? Rashi brings both? Where are you?
Not Rashi, the Mishnah.
Maybe it's later. I don't remember now. I remember something about it. I think Tosfos brings a girsa over here. How do you say it? Okay, let's continue in the Gemara and see. There's no hano, you're not allowed to enjoy it. Even though there's no me'ilah. That's a din derabanan. So there's no me'il over there. So you don't have, we mentioned the Mishnah. A concept of tamura of exchange you don't have. You don't bring it, if they don't bring wine with it. In the sachim. So the way Rashi explains it, they don't bring the sachim on their own. But they have to have the sachim with their korban. It's clear in the Gemara. I got mixed up with something else. It's clear in the Gemara that Risi holds that all of them were the machmir. Shenemar b'hem la'Hashem.
I think. So the same that he said that maybe the Rambam argues. He's only arguing on the last case.
Oh, so I remember something. Okay, so that's what I saw.
Learn the Gemara. Yeah.
Right, so when he says b'kulim rei, Rashi says b'chol advarim alolu, and you read b'kotcher dechovim lachmir b'kotcher Yisrael. That's everything is machmir. That whole discussion is tzad of Tarekama, that you don't have Mehila, it's only Mekotch Mizbech. Kedusha Guf. But when it's Bedek Habayis, then it has the same Kedusha that belongs to Bedek Habayis, and therefore there's Mehila. Yes, that's probably what I saw. The Rambam argues regarding what he's arguing, and there's a discussion with the Rambam, but I didn't go into it. Lo Inani v'lo Mo'alim. So lo Inani v'd'Rabbanan v'lo Mo'alim, the go Me'ilo Chet Chet Mitchuma, lo Mitchuma, the Mitchuma Ksiv Yisrael, v'lo Avdi Kachavim, lo Mitchuma is only Yisrael, so also Mehila is only Yisrael. Peim Chavim Shu Pigul Esotar, my time it does to Pigul of Avon Reis. So we started earlier, Kseh Shava. That's the Nois Echil Chilo Mitchuma, or Mitchuma Ksiv Yisrael, v'lo Avdi Kachavim. So that's the Kseh Shava we saw yesterday's daf. A double Kseh Shava that goes from Pigul to Noiser, from Noiser to Tuma, and there it says Noiser. You have a hekesh. Maisa beima, itkesh lo maisa dagan. Maisa beima, you compare it to dagan, to regular maisa. Maisa beima ksiv neisor v'lo v'gechavim. So you have a hekesh to hekesh. Here it's a hekesh to hekesh. Because you have a hekesh from tomorrow to maisa beima. And you have a hekesh from maisa beima to maisa dagan. Double hekesh, that's how you learn. Says the Gemara v'chidover alone behekesh chayzum alad behekesh.
And Meiser Dagan is the source. So it's really Meiser Dagan is the starting point.
Right. So the Gemara says, can you something which learns behekesh, can teach behekesh? We're going to learn. That's one of the rules that we're going to see in Ezum Akoyman. The double alone behekesh, shadum alad behekesh. Answers the Gemara. What we're more saying over here. Meiser Dagan chulinu. Yeah, but where are you learning from? Meiser Dagan. All these rules, it's something that learns from Hekesh, Kaddish, Hekesh, etc. It's only by Kachim. But by other parts of the Torah, is no problem. So where are you learning from? Ma'aseh Dagan. Ma'aseh Dagan is Chulin. So okay, that's if you're going based on the teacher, the source. The source is Chulin, so I can do Hekesh ben Hekesh. But if you go based on what you're learning too, the discussion of the Gemara, if you go based on Melamed or based on the Lamed, so then it's Kachim. You're learning the Kachim. So he says something easier because tomorrow is Mukash to Ma'aseh Be'imo. And Ma'aseh Be'imo you cannot bring by a goy. Because a goy, as Rashi puts out, explains over here, the only thing a goy can bring is the Darim and the Davos. They can only donate. There's no chayva. The Gemara brings the example, Dosh Kavul and Zman, to bring in a certain time. But it's not only Dosh Kavul and Zman, any chayvas they don't have. Chayvas she'en la Zman Kavul, sorry, that they bring over here. But really, it means any type of korban is the only korban you have by a goy is a donation. There's no obligation of a korban. So you made him, this type of idea of Ma'aseh Be'imo is not something that doesn't belong to a goy. Only a Yisrael can bring wine, can donate wine, give a wine as a Nesachim, but not a goy. Could it bring this korban designated? To it says kacha, that's it. Oma basically ran b'chulim la'achim. Remember the way we cut his back. My time it kasodai. Ki gomu mi'ilo chet mitchumo duma de chumo. You learn for chumo. So you have to learn for chumo. The kaddish is a guf. Chumo is a guf. It's itself as the gusha. Halal dush beik a bayit, which itself is not kaddish. It belongs to Hekdesh. The gusha is damin loy. We don't learn from there, and therefore he holds that there is. That's what we're saying. That the gusha is damin. You do have a din of meila. Torah banon. Dam shenitma v'zorgoy v'shoyge gurtza. If a person took blood, it did zrika, and it's tameh hurtza, it's still gonna be okay. Why? What does mirat say on tmeim? What does mirat say on tmeim? The tzitz. You have a din that the tzitz is mirat say. You have the tzitz of the Kohen Gadol makes a ritzui. So the tzitz is mirat say. So down should need to resort to Shoige Gurtso by that because you have a tzitz. Because there's a one on with base. B'mezid lo Gurtso. If it was b'mezid not. Why? As Rashi points out, it's in the Rabbanan. Really, the tzitz is miratz. But Rabbanan didn't want people to do b'mezid. You're going to take carbon betum and put it b'mezid. That's only individual. But by tzibur we don't have a difference. We're not doing the Rabbanan, and therefore it works. The tzitz is miratz. But by a guy, tzitz is not miratz. It doesn't work by a guy. That's not like a basic. According to Rabbi Yossi, you say it's all Achmer. Right? Meaning that he holds that even the tumor is a din by Goy as well.
What does that do with the tzitz?
No, I'm saying that, so all the applications you have by Yisrael works by Goy as well. So, Rabbi Yossi is not mechal to the Yisrael and the Goy.
Yeah, but for those dinim, it says in the Mishnah, Gabi, Noiser, Tommy, and Pico.
Well, why should be a difference?
Why should the tzitz be any different?
No, yeah, exactly. Why should be a difference?
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's I'm saying maybe the tzitz is different.
Oh, no. So you have to have a mocker. According to Rabbi Yossi, why? Because it says La Hashem. Everything works La Hashem. Me, I'm basically looking at it. It's not a goy. It belongs to Hashem. So it should be Hurtza as well. So it says more than another pasuk. Shani also no makor lahem v'lo v'tkechovim. When it says Gabi the tzitz, it says Yal Metzach Ha'oroin L'rotzon lahem l'fnei Hashem. So it says we're lahem. It has to be hem and not goy. So according to you, that says you're not allowed to make tumo. It says Hashem Mekdishi, that they're Magdish, who are Am Yisrael. So not a goy. That can't be, because we know that there's tumo, according to Rabbi Yossi, even by a goy.
Sorry, I didn't understand. So according to the first answer, Rabbi Yossi is saying, you're right. There is tuma by a guy, but the tzitz doesn't work because we have a drasha of
right. Now the embassies, tuma, even Rabbanan agree that there's a tuma.
Even the Rabbanan agree there's a tuma. Why?
Because the Bible says there's tuma.
Rabbanan say in the Mishnah. Right. So what does it mean? In chayav and mishum.
You're not chayav mishum tuma, but there is tuma.
There is tuma. They're saying it's like an
No, you're not chayav. The issue of tuma, but you have a tuma by them as well.
So why does the Gemara assume that it would go like the Rabbanan? Maybe the Rabbanan also. There is Tumah. Who says that tzitz is Maratza for the Tumah?
So according to Rabbanan, it's Amiratzi. The Tumah doesn't work, and it's Amiratzi. Now there's no punishment. You're not chayav al tumah, but it's Amiratzi. So the korban did not work. Obviously, you have tzitz. So according to Rabbanan, everything applies only by Yisrael, not by a goy. So the chiyuv is only by Yisrael, and the ritzu is only by Yisrael. That's what comes out. According to Rabbi Yossi, one understands maybe not. Maybe everything applies by a goy. So we know by ritzu you have a special din that doesn't work. What about tumah? It says also. So the Gemara says now because lahem. Right? And the conclusion of the Gemara is because it says lerotzin lahem by the tzitz. Meaning. Loshon Ritzui is like love and connection the guy doesn't have. So the tzitz is causing that connection. It's like here you see what's the idea of the tzitz. The tzitz brings that special connection. Even though there's tumah, the tzitz brings it. It takes away the barrier of tumah. That works only by Yisrael, not by a guy. Okay.
If he touches tumor, is that an Indian?
He touches truma. Yeah. Does he have a din of a zav? A goy he has certain type of tumors that he can affect truma. The goy's tumor zivo by a goy, but it's not. There's nothing to get there. Now we're not talking that the goy did it. We're talking about stama. The Yisrael did it. The question does it affect the goy's korban? But it's Yisrael is doing it. So the Mishnah. Even things that don't have pigul, like we saw in yesterday's daf, regarding the items that are not matir, don't have a matir, sorry, but they themselves are matir. Like ritzo, like a dam, there's still noiser over there if you leave it overnight. The exception is with dam. We'll see. There's a little from a pasuk. There's only things that you're eating. The wood. Which is a spice. Because it's a Dovar, which is not edible, and that's Rishiva's Shita, that's because they're edible, everyone disagree. Say what? Maybe Tum is only something that has a matir, like we said the Gabi Pigul. Fedinu, I'll tell you, it makes sense. Right? It's Kvio means, what does Kvio going to tell you? That it's Chatos Kavua. It doesn't change if you're rich or poor. And B'diachas, what's B'diachas? Regular chait. Every regular chait is one idea. It means the person made a mistake, and he found out about a mistake. That's one thing. We don't find any heter by people. Still in Chavim Alav El Dov Shesh Lo Matirim Below the Mizbeach. We saw in the previous Mishnah the pigul you chayav only if he has a matir. Tumosh it's not the korban kavua. Depends if he's rich or poor. By Tuas of English. Uvishte ideas has to have idea betchila, idea b'soif. You have 2 ideas. So if we have to know, forget to know. The utra michlala, and sometimes tumas mutter, where when the tzibur is tameh, there's kinds of tumas mutter, and you didn't change your chayav, but those shesh lo matirim bein lo the best. So it should be the same thing as to be half a matter. Talmud loimar Hashem hem magdishim li. It says Hashem magdishim li. Regarding by knows regarding tumah. In other words, anything they magdish, and including tameh, it's all included. Yachol miyad. Could it be that you'll be chayav right away when they became hektish? Talmud loimar yikrav. And yikrav is referring to, it says, the Lashon Pasuk is, and one of the so-called Isha sheyikav mikem mikol Zevachim al-Kochim, says a kohen who gets close to it. Isha yikav mikol al-Kochim. So he says yikav, from here you know it's right away. What does it mean? Yikav actually gets close to it. You're not chayav only by touching. You're chayav only when you eat. Because it says in the Pasuk, Ishu Zera Aroin, what's the Lashon? Lo yoichal ala sheyita. Has to be a chila, not a gil. So, Elo matu lam yikra, b'uchshar likar because of davar. So here we're changing the mashmos. Yikra referring to the kohen, but we're changing it to be on the carbon. The carbon has to be kosher likarev. What does it mean kosher likarev? That it has to be in ready to be nikrav, not right away. Not immediately when you're makdish. Meaning after it comes, after you shecht it. Haketzad. Yesh lo matirim. We'll see the boys will say. Yesh lo matirim shikor matirim. When you did whatever needs to be done in order, you shechted, you did the zrika, now it's mutter. Ein lo matirim shikor zrikli. It has to be going to the kli. So it's not right away as the tumah. Has the tumah only once it goes through the process. Either you wait for the matir to be matered, or you wait for it to go into the kli. So you have kedusha's kli. So that's what gives me the din of a sheyikrav, which is meaning that's what a sheyikrav teaches. Even though a sheyikrav speaks about the kohen, I'm learning from you to the korban. The korban has to be in the situation of sheyikrav close. In other words, he's ready to be carved. Hashkan tumo. Okay, so I found tumo. Noisor minolon. How do I know there's noisor by something that doesn't have a matir? I have gzeh shava. Remember, that's what we saw. So that's what we saw in the previous. We saw the previous daf. Noisor is in the middle. It has a gzeh shava to pigul and has a gzeh shava to tumo. You're comparing it to tumo. Why are you comparing it to noisor? Says the more we stop, you have to learn for two. Why? Sheken gezel simin. What's gezel? So gezel, as Rashi says, is a Rosh Tevis. A is psul haguf, gimel is guf, right? Pigul is not psul haguf. Pigul, where's the psul? We said beginning of the Masechta. It's a machshava. Nothing actually happened over here. But by tumah, it's psul haguf. Zayin is zrika. In other words, zrika zadam. Doesn't make it possible. Shake it by pigul. If you don't have zrika, you don't pigul. You have to have all the you have to have the material. And Noiser and Thomas says the word Chilul. So here's where it's a little different. Rashi says. Rashi learns Gezel again. It's Kuf, Zrika, Lamed is Chilul. Now really, Chilul is what we're trying to learn. We say, let's learn Chilul. Well, let's learn Oven. There's three things I'm comparing the two. Gezel. But Lamed, that's what we want to learn. That's a Deichik according to Rashi. Taisus learns the Lamed is not that. Taisus learns, he says, the Lamed is Kuloi. Meaning, Pigul, once you do something Pigul, everything is Pigul. You can't have half a korban Pigul, half a korban not. Mashain can by Tumo, you can have one piece is Tom and the other one is not. So it's cool. Okay. Other people have Lebein of Sheken Hutor. One for Pigul. Why? A Hutor. What Hutor means? That Tumo Hutor Betzibur. Mashain Pigul and Noishas never mutter. Tzitz. Tumo has a head or tzitz when it goes to the Mizbech. Pigul and Noishas don't have head tzitz. Tar, they're both tar, meaning they're not tabby. They are. There's no psul on the person who's doing it. Bizman, they both depend on time. Korif, meaning the problem is in the korban, not in the person. Mashaik and Tomei is in the makriv. If you have more things you compare it to pigul, you compare it to tumah. So again, we have a question. I want to know where Noisa belongs to. Does Noisar more similar to Tuma or more similar to Pigul? So there's three things that's similar to Tuma, and there's 5 things that's similar to Pigul. Ella, the reason why I know Tuma, and Noisar is the following. How do I know that the pasuk of Tuma refers to also psul of time? Referring to Tuma, Kodesh Yisrael, it says Lichalelu, lo Yichalel, Lichalelu, lo Shurabi. It says the one of Mevon Dalef, Beshnei Chilulim Akos Medaber, Chad Psul Noisar, V'chad Psul Tuma. Right? I'm adding 2. So what is also Noisar? So it's an extra words in the pasuk. Tell me the Noisar is included. We can't say it's Pigul because Pigul we took away. So it must be Noisar. So if I have to figure out if Noisar is similar to Tuma, so the Pigul is basically a special drasha that we have. It says clearly you learn Noisar from that Noisar is included in the pasuk of Tuma. That's how we know that they have it, even if something doesn't have it in Pigul, doesn't have a matir. Okay, so we'll stop over here. Drashas of this stuff.